What up? It's 1183. We back at it again. It's Wednesday. So today we're going to give you a few quick videos. I did post up the last two videos we did on 1183, the channel. That is the word 1183, the number 83 on YouTube. Check us out, like, and subscribe. So going to get into it. I don't know what Stratton's got going on today. He's gonna hit us with some love here in just a second.
I'm here.
There. All right.
I'm here. Hello,
So,
world. Nice to see you tonight.
yeah, man.
I don't feel the same enthusiasm from you guys out there. It is nice to see you tonight.
That's what's up. So 1183 is the
Even
channel.
I can't see you. I can't see you. I'm just bullshitting.
1183 is the channel. That's the word 11 and the number 83. What's up, world? We're back at it again. We're going to give you guys a little love, maybe a little inspiration, maybe a little juice, maybe a little something that's controversial. But we're looking for some input because this is what we do. Real people, real issues, real life, real shit, because this is what we do. What's up, Brian?
What's going on, Brian?
And so tonight we're going to give you a couple. And I think Stratton had something he wanted to discuss a little bit, and we'd love some input. So we're going to get it started right now. And we look forward to some feedback. Welcome all.
Thank you for that introduction, Mayfield. I didn't have
Yes,
anything
sir.
overly important to talk about. I would like to know from the community, when is enough enough? At what point do we stop chasing? You know, at some point you have to figure out life isn't about the chase. It's not about more clothes, more shoes, more cars, more jewelry, more money. At some point, where's your limit? Where's the ceiling for you? It can't just be about more. I was driving home today, and the reason I thought about sharing this with the community is I had and still have an overwhelming sense of just happiness. I feel content. I feel loved. I feel cherished and cared for. I have a great community. I have a fabulous family, and it's getting better day by day by day. Now, the question is, has it gotten better because of outside circumstances, or has it gotten better because of me? Because of things that I've changed within myself, or making notices. Now, yes, anybody that knows me knows that I have a spending problem. If I see it, I want it, I buy it. That's how we've always been. But I think I've gotten to an age now where you can only have so much shit. What are you going to do with it? Because once you get it, once you've achieved that goal, and once you have it, you're just going to want more. You're going to want something else. So when does the want subside? When do you quit with that?
On some level, I think it helps you stay sharp. I know that sounds a little strange, but I think on some level, when you're wanting more, you're wanting a challenge. You're wanting to push kind of the envelope. Do you need it? Do you have to have it? No, but your psyche says, I need more. And
no,
I think that's a natural thing.
I don't think it's your psyche. I think it's we're trained that way. We're trained to think that we need more. We're trained to think that, yeah, I have that sweater in white, but it'd be dope if I had it in brown or gray or something else too. For what? And then you take it home, and you might have spent $200 on this sweater, wear it one time, and it sits in a drawer or on a shelf somewhere or something like that. I've got so many clothes, I forget what clothes I have, or clothes that still have tags on them, or shoes that have stuff on them. Because you saw it, I saw it, I wanted it, I bought it. I'm the age I am, and I've had over 115 vehicles. Ridiculous. For what? Because I could get them? Because they were there?
I mean,
for
on some level, but on some level, it was something that gave you satisfaction. So you were thriving and hungry for something to satisfy an itch, for lack of a better word. So on some level, you're providing something that you feel that you need, but you don't really need it. But you have to psychologically say, okay, well, do I need 100 cars? No. I mean, how many people are counting? Not very many.
But the question is what is the void that I'm filling though? I don't need all
Why
that
does
shit.
It have to be a void?
There's a void. There's something lacking. There's something missing. Chase purpose and joy, not material. Exactly. And what I'm saying is, I've been chasing material all my life, and it doesn't do anything for you. Yeah, I can say I've had it. I mean, I was living at 20 years old like I was 40. Most 40-year-olds didn't have what I had at that point, and I prided myself on that. I took a lot of pride in that because I felt like it was some sort of sense of accomplishment. It's not. It served me it gives it nothing. And if you really sit down and think about how much money you wasted chasing shit that you don't even have anymore, or that you sold in a garage sale, or you gave to your cousin, or whatever the fuck you did with it, you can't even go through thinking about all the things you've wasted. And it didn't bring you any more joy, or like, my shoe game. Why? Why? And now at this point, I get to a point where I just wear one pair of shoes until I decide, now it's time to go get another one out that I've had for 10 or 15 years. My point to that, though, is there's every bit of, let's just put X out there for the amount of value, the shoes that I have. I don't wear them. Why did I need to have all those? Why did I need to have all those Nikes in different colors? That's just...
It gave you something. Not to say that you needed it. I'm just saying it gave you something at that particular time. Now, whether you had the urge and you felt like I had earned the right, maybe I hadn't bought a pair of sneakers in a couple of years. Maybe I just want to buy 3 pair. So sometimes it's kind of that psyche or that psychological thing that says, even for me, I'll wear the same joints for 4 or 5 years, and then I'll go out and be like, I'm gonna buy 4 pairs. Do I need 4 pair? No.
You know what it is? When you go buy those 4 pairs, do you feel like you have a little bit of a chip on your shoulder? Like you don't need them, you don't want them, but at this point you're showing out. I can afford these 4.
No, I do.
Deep down inside, if you're buying 4 pairs of shoes and you have a bunch of shoes, you don't need them. You're not going to wear them all the same day. You probably don't even have all the outfits put together for all those different shoes.
But I would venture to say I wear my sneakers or shoes a little differently than most people. I wear my shoes until they're just completely dead. So if I go out and buy 4 pair of sneakers, then those 4 pair of sneakers are going to last me for a minimum of 5 years.
Okay, but then the logic behind that would have to be though, why not buy the 1 pair of shoes, wear them until they're dead, save your money for now, and then go buy another pair of shoes when those shoes are dead? What is the object of having? Well, we're getting off topic. The point is, we're trying to figure out why we keep up with the Joneses. Why are the Joneses so important? I used to say I am the fucking Joneses. People keep up with me. But for what? I'm not doing anything more extravagant than the next person. But who really gives a shit other than me?
Because
I'm wasting my money to prove what?
Because people care. What? People care what other people think of them. They care. They care that their next door neighbor sees them pull up in a new boy Benz. They care. And the neighbor sees it and they're like, yeah, okay, whatever. But then that neighbor thinks next time he goes out and buys a whip, my next door neighbor just bought one. I got a topping. But nobody cares.
Trap. It's a trap.
It is. Well, I wouldn't call it a trap. I think you just have to be aware. You have to be aware. Why the fuck am I buying this new car with this payment that I don't want because I want to pull up next to my neighbor in a, whatever it is. We keep up with the Joneses because on some level we think that the other people see us and they don't. I see a nice car, I see it and I dismiss it and I leave it where it left me at. So having nice things, I am sure. Having nice things and doing something nice for yourself, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
What's the nicest
part? The whole part of wanting more may be different for everybody. So maybe that's the topic that we're having.
It's still more.
Because Well, you see it one way.
That appetite is never quenched because you're going to go on to the next thing. And
but you can't say that you can't. But you can't say that you can't. You can't say that because I've earned the right to be able to have 5 TVs on my wall. I've earned that right. It's mine. It belongs to me. It is what it is. So when you work hard, you provide for your family, you do all this other stuff, and you're chasing more. Now we're talking about chasing more and kind of keeping up with the Joneses. I think wanting more and keeping up with the Joneses are a little skewed. They're similar, but they're a little skewed because wanting more is just about earning what already belongs to you. What's up, Steven?
That's the issue with chasing status symbols and they're meant to set you apart. Yeah. I have to screenshot that. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, so how do we get out of that, Stephen? If you living in that type of, or you believe in that,
what's up, Tim?
What do you do to not fall into that lane? How do you stay in your current lane versus, a person that has a, we run across people all the time that back in the day that had their car and might have had a year left. Or the topic tonight is keeping up with the Joneses. When is enough enough? How do we decide that I don't need a new truck because my neighbor got a new truck? I don't have to have a new pair of shoes because, when is enough enough? I mean, you got to think about it. Before there was a fashion sense or whatnot, people could put on a burlap sack and walk around in that for a week straight and not give a shit less about it. Life was more about just being happy, not about the things you got. It was like it was about experiences. Now it's about
but it's
things.
A part. Here's the thing. It's a part of the human race. It's a part of what we do now. And I think the challenge
when stuff starts losing meaning, I know I got to start giving back.
So yes, Stephen, thank you for tuning in. Number one in the session tonight. Giving back is kind of the catalyst to kind of being rewarded with, number one, the happiness and the satisfaction, but number two, you're getting rewarded with, not necessarily material things, but psychologically. I mean, because you feel like you've
further and further into debt and more stress. Now we don't need. The other thing that brought that up, on my way home, when I was thinking about how happy I am in my life, and I say that sarcastically, but I truly mean it. I mean, the sun was shining down. I felt good. I was on my way home. I felt like nothing in life could get any better. Winning the lottery right now couldn't make my life any better because there's not very much in life that I want. And I realize now at this stage of my life, it's not about all the things I've had. I've had more things than most. It's about the experiences. I look forward to the experiences that I failed at because I was too career driven. Right? So a lot of times people make more money and they strive to get that promotion for whatever the case may be, whatever you're trying to get to, that next goal in life. Okay? But like we've been saying, maybe if you just slow down for a second, if you just slow down and live within your means, because that's the biggest problem, right? Well, I told you before, at the age of 20, I was living like most 40-year-olds. But what was great for me was, until I became 40, I realized that it's easy to have all the shit that I have and be able to afford it. When I was in my 20s, looking like I could afford all that shit was a struggle. I mean, I made it work, but it was a struggle. But I didn't need any of that shit. Why would I need all of that? And you think now at this point, it saddens me at this age because I realize that all the money I spent, all the money I wasted, it's not necessarily about, in my mind, the waste. It's what I wasted it on. If I could say back then when I bought I don't care what it was, whatever you want to put a label on, know that Stratton bought it. And I know that I could have used that on experience. I could have traveled the world. I could have been to vacations. But those cars, those things, those material things.
But I think
memories.
No, but we weren't. Number one, we weren't designed that way. Number one, for you and I, we weren't designed that way. Number two, you know, shout out Tim. Thank you for the response. Yes, people naturally, you know, want to feel included, accepted, noticed. They want to fit in. Absolutely, we all want that. But I think on a real plain level, we've earned that right. Now, if you feel like you've earned the right to drive a new truck, a Mercedes, a BMW, whatever the case is, first we have to figure out, okay, yes, I've earned the right, but am I pushing the limits? Okay, because I like nice things. I buy myself nice things because I feel like I've earned the right to have them. Now, living outside of my means would be something different. I would be driving a Mercedes versus what I drive. I don't drive a Mercedes. So the whole point is that we aren't designed that way, but I also feel like we can't negate the fact that we've earned the right to have all of those things that we've always dreamed of, whether it's the $500,000 house versus the $250,000 house.
Go ahead, I'm listening. I'm keeping up.
What did Tim say?
He said, naturally, people have the sense of wanting to feel included, accepted, noticed, to fit in. It can be a motivating for nuisance. It went on. For nuisance or a driver to stress, failure, and regret also. And then he said there was an elderly woman interviewed at 100 years old. She was a smoker since childhood, etc. She was asked, "What's your secret?" She said, "I'm minding my own damn business and stayed home." She did say damn, but you know.
Yeah.
But minding your own business and staying home, while that is great, and she lived a great, healthy life, and she didn't have to deal with the stress. If I can preach to anything or help anybody, true to my soul, like I'm trying right now to help my oldest daughter, because she has some things that she goes through, like any daughter does. And I'm trying to help them realize that if somebody just helped me learn how to deal with my stress at a younger age, life would be so much easier for everybody. They say stress is a killer. And if you don't know how to just let that shit go and move on, move on. You going out to buy a Mercedes coupe because your neighbor went out and bought a Mercedes coupe is not going to make you feel any better other than knowing now I got a goddamn Mercedes coupe car note next month.
Right. But I also think and feel that it's all learned behavior. We learned it somewhere. We saw it somewhere.
Because we're filling a void. We are filling something that is missing in our lives to keep doing that shit. I know that I was missing that. I didn't know how to make myself happy without things, without purchasing things. I found more happiness in material things because material things can't hurt you. They can't leave you. If they do, you just go get the newer hotness, right? But material things, they hold a value because I feel more valuable. I'm in a suit. I'm in my Johnson Murphys. I'm feeling good. You look at me, I look successful. Even if I'm a broken human on the inside, just because I look good. I smell good, I feel good, I have my shit together. But I could say that I was broken before then. Until you see the better side of things, of what's important. Think about it. I thought to myself, and this is when I realized my problem with cars. Out of high school, I got to drive a Dodge Viper. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to say it was a 98. I think it was older than that, but it was brand new for that year. And God, if it wasn't the nicest thing, it sounded good, 2-seater coupe. No, I mean, you couldn't take anything away from it.
Yeah.
Guess what I saw 15 years later?
The same
model year,
same.
Dodge Viper. And I couldn't have told you it couldn't have been more of a piece of shit than, I mean, and not because it wasn't taken care of, Mayfield. It was taken care of. But when you compare it to what we have now in vehicles, there's no comparison. I mean, you got to remember, like, a 69 Camaro back then, what did it come with? 300 horse from the
At least.
Maybe. No. Maybe. They didn't have the horsepower until we started doing stuff to the engine. Then they didn't have that horsepower back then off the showroom. And you got that car for like $2,500, $2,700. So why are we keeping up? Is it because of what we're lacking on the inside? Or is it because it's all we see? It's everywhere. Buy me, get this, buy that.
No, I see it from a different looking glass. I think it's, I think we're all broken. I think broken is a good term. But I think that when we have an opportunity to do some things for ourselves, that's kind of the selfish part of us. That's kind of I've earned it. I want it. I'm going to go get it. Do I need it? No. I think we're all aware that we don't need it. But if I'm chasing a dream of a career, as we talk about the chase of a career is the opportunity to maybe provide for your family in a way that you've never dreamed of before. Okay.
But there are a lot of variables. You're saying the same thing. But I hear you with that.
But there are a lot of variables that go into the psyche of, there are a lot of variables that go into the psyche of chasing and wanting more. Because we all come from different backgrounds. And so for me, you have that's a part of the variable. That's part of the equation. So you can't eliminate it.
There is no equation. In my opinion, there is no equation.
It's all an equation. It's all math.
You want me to tell you what it is? When you got that job, not you as an individual, but I mean when whoever got the job that they got, that is paying the bills that they got, more often than not, there's two things that happen. Either the job that you get pulls you out of the hole you're in, slowly, but pulls you out, or you immediately celebrate and go buy some shit you can't afford, but now you can afford it because you have this job. Okay, so then what happens? You don't stop you don't change up your lifestyle. Now you made this big purchase that you really couldn't afford when you got the job in the first place, whether it be a house, a car, or whatever the case may be. And now, like I said before, it's my product business. I can try to keep up company's costs. I don't know if this is what you're trying to say, and I hope I didn't read that incorrectly. I tried to read that pretty fast, but yes, I feel the same way. I was trying to keep up with the Joneses, with the companies, and you just can't do it. Just stay in your lane. It's easier just to stay in your lane and let things happen as it may. Because when you force things to happen, it's gonna do. Man, if I could stress to anybody about the ability to let go of that stress, to let that shit just go. If I read that right, I agree. When it's hard to keep up with your vendors, other brokers, your competitors. It's very difficult to do that sometimes. It's very hard for me to say no to anybody, and I have to say no because I can't fill that need. And then I think, well, if I had more, then I could feel the need, But there's never enough. There is never enough is the point to this. There is never enough. I can get another building. Go ahead.
So knowing and stating that there's never enough, knowing that, how in your estimation, in your opinion, does that get remedied? Because for you, for example, because I mean obviously it's different for everybody else. So be it that you have that point of view of, we're broken. Yes, we're broken, but wanting more and chasing something that can give us some type of satisfaction. It's kind of like sex, right? We chase it until it's done. It's over with now. It's to me, it's the same thing. It's a necessary evil of how we exist. And because for me personally, I don't shop at the nicest places and all that stuff. I shop at the Goodwill. Shout out to the Goodwill because it is what it is. But for me, I do drive a nice car. It is what it is. But I've earned that. It's mine. It belongs to me, and that's what I do.
Okay.
So, you know, for me to have that little piece that says, you know what, I've worked hard, I've earned it, I enjoy what I drive, I enjoy getting behind the wheel every day. I think for everybody it's different. And
so you're saying it's more
one
of
those
reward.
necessary evils.
You're saying it's more of a reward.
I'm not saying it's a reward. I'm just saying it's a necessary evil to living. Because, for example, if we talk about experiences like
for
you,
that though.
For example,
but why are you living for that versus experiences?
I'm not living for that. I'm not living for that. I'm rewarding myself for being able, number one, to provide for my family and have a home and so forth and so on. Okay. Number two, it's almost like those experiences, right? Some people have more experiences than others out in the world. They travel, you know, they do all of those fun things. Okay. So for them, they're getting some type of satisfaction from that experience. We experience our families different because of our learned behavior and our how we were trained and brought up. So I just think it's different for everybody.
Go ahead and see. Tim left a comment there.
Tim says, I stay in my lane, but I also let others into that lane too. Sometimes they drift behind me sometimes. It's the other way around. In the end, everyone stays off the shoulder lane and waiting for AAA to stay in the metaphor. Laughing out loud. Yes, we staying in our lane and kind of being on the outs all at the same time, and trying to keep up. It's tough. I don't. For me personally, I don't. You guys will hear me say over and over again, I just don't care. I don't have an extravagant house. I live within my means. I do all the little things that satisfy me and my family. And wanting more isn't necessarily a bad thing, but what does it cost you? I think that's the question. If it's costing you,
competing with though,
I don't see it as a competition because I don't care what my neighbors drive.
You got a comment.
What's up, Steven? Feel like I stumbled onto this show for a reason. I quit my job last week to work for myself. This whole convo has been running through my head.
Let me tell you what.
Go ahead.
Oh,
go ahead.
We can touch all over. I mean, we got all kinds of touch points on
Go
that.
ahead.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Congratulations.
That takes courage.
Congratulations. Yeah. Wow. It does take a lot of courage. There's nothing wrong with.
Absolutely, Tim. You're absolutely right. I agree with you. I agree. We have to have that. We have
to an extent. To an extent. Hold on. Congratulations again.
Yes, Steve.
It does take a lot of courage. It's going to be hard at first, but there's no better reward. There's no better reward at all than doing it for yourself. Doing it, making you better, your name better, your family better. Knowing that the money that you go out there and you drum up is for you, and you will get to a point where you're giving back to society and you have somebody and you have employees helping you to the point where you can sit around and
take a vacation. Do whatever you want to do.
That is the best feeling in the world to be able to do it.
Congratulations again. It takes an absorbent amount of courage. We talked about it the other day. Sometimes you just got to jump. And, Stephen, if you go to our channel, if you can, that's the word 1183. That's our channel. We have about, 10 or 12 videos up.
Make sure you subscribe.
Make sure you like and subscribe.
But what Tim is saying is being able to live within your means and staying humble. Not everybody does that, though. And my question is, and the question that I feel like I still am searching for, or that I feel like I have found, but I want to help other people find it. When is enough enough? When is enough enough? Wait, you talk about you drive a nice car, right?
Yeah.
But you are, if you want, you know how we do. We get more than one car at a time, right? So at what point do you drive that car until it's done. So it says, you know what, we've had a good run, Mayfield, I'm done. I give up. And then you get another one, because there are people that do that. We have met several
Absolutely.
of them. Okay. Yeah. So what makes that person, is it just because he doesn't care as much about a vehicle? Or he uses a vehicle from point A to point B? That is what it is for, transportation.
That's what it's for. That is right. But I'm just saying, as I think the question has been answered. It's just a matter of the perception. I think we all have a different experience with wanting more. What we've learned, what we've seen over time has conditioned us to be who we are. Now, there are some things we see and we're like, okay, I don't need it. I'll leave it alone. It is what it is. I'll get one later. But there are other people that find that true satisfaction in, maybe they get a new whip or a new car every 2 years or 3. You know, maybe they don't want to drive a car.
And maybe we're stuck on cars because, we enjoy our cars.
I don't mean just cars. I mean, naturally. There are job hoppers.
My question is, if it ain't broke, I hate the word ain't. If it's not broke, why fix it? If you don't need a new car, why go buy one? And you're saying it's more of a reward. So that is, I'm just saying, because the Joneses part of it. It's a reward. I want people to see that I feel good. I want to shine for everybody.
It's not. I think you're misunderstanding. For me, it's not for the people. It's for me. It's for me. So for me personally, I enjoy my vehicle. We're talking about vehicles. I enjoy sneakers. I buy nice sneakers when I have an opportunity to buy nice sneakers. Now, I'm a dad.
But you also said that you would leave them.
Now, obviously, being a family man, it's a little different. I don't necessarily buy myself stuff on a regular basis because I have a family. They're more important to me. I make sure they have what they need before I get what I need. But that's just a natural thing. I'm not the only person in the world that does that. No. But when I have an opportunity to do something for myself, then I do it because I've earned it. I've taken care of my family. I've paid my mortgage. I pay, all that other stuff. So for me, it's not about the outside world. It's for me, it's about myself and my family. And I think when you want more and you chase more, you have to understand what you're chasing and why you want the more. And I think that's the question that you're asking. Because some people see it as a status thing and they want to keep up with the Joneses. They want to see what, do what they see in the TVs and the suits and, all that.
But like I was saying, we're sold the dream. We are sold that dream because we see that dream.
Absolutely.
So that's why we're stuck in that cycle. We're stuck in that because that's what we're programmed to see. That's what we're programmed to want, to feel. We go to the mall not because we need clothes. We have clothes, but because, that's where you're supposed to go. You got a new refrigerator or you got a new stove. You know why you got a new stove? Not overly because you needed a new stove. She saw a commercial where you can turn it on Bluetooth. And it's silver or it's
convenience.
Black, and I got a white one.
Excuse me. Yeah.
We put ourselves in these situations and I'm like, do we really sit down and think of what we're getting?
Some of us do. Not all, but some of us do. And
like the guy, I got a friend that refinanced his house. Sometimes that's a great idea to refinance your house, but he refinances his house. He's had his house now for 12 years. Okay? 12 years. He refinances it. I don't know I don't know the details of it. But all that bothered me about his refinancing is that his mortgage started over.
Yeah.
Like, that's rough.
That's ugly.
You've been in the house for that long. So why do we want more? What the hell else could we possibly want more for? And then don't get me started on credit.
So let's you're asking the question, and we want more because it's just by design. It's what we are. We're human. We've learned how to be who we are. And as we grow older and a little more wise, we figure out that there are certain things that in life that we just don't need. Do I need 10 watches? No. But there are people who have a watch fetish and they like watches. Some people do sneakers. Some people take a vacation 3 times a year. So, because they're all about the experience. We want more because naturally it's a part of our DNA. It's who we are. And I don't know that there's anything wrong with that as long as you are living your best life. If you are living your best life, then hey, more power to you. I think that's the message. I think live your best life. You know, live the way you've always wanted to live. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Wanting more is about figuring out as you get older what really matters to you, because you can't really know that you don't need it unless you have it or experienced it in some way. You know, it's kind of like, oh, that wasn't good for me.
Right. Well, Tim said a while back, I'm reading back through the messages. He said, I think the limit is, hold on, it keeps going off. I think the limit is reached either when the individual feels satisfied or they realize. But yes, I agree. How do you help an individual realize sooner? All of us, I can say everybody that's on here listening in the community of 1183 will sit here and tell you that somebody at some point in their life has told them something that they just didn't listen to, and it came to fruition the way that they said it was going to. But we didn't listen. We come from a mentality of we got to find out for ourselves, right? Why can't we sometimes we just don't listen. We got to look over the edge and see, yeah, Mom said there's no bottom down there, but, like Eddie Murphy in Golden Child, there's a floor, so he flips a quarter. You couldn't just be satisfied knowing that you believe there's a floor and move on, but you got to flip the quarter. So I just want to know, how do we help people realize what's going on sooner? Because that's it. You're fighting advertising. When you think about it, in order to help people see the truth.
So you're yes, I'm with you. So we're gonna take
fighting advertising
real quick. Tim, that's phenomenal for shouting out Stephen and giving him some juice and some motivation. That is phenomenal. That is awesome. I don't know if you guys are friends on Facebook.
He is a member.
But that is phenomenal. That's why we're here. That's what we do. I think you're in search of something, Stratton, there's no answer. I think the answer is within each individual. Life experience is what it is. We can't change that life experience without living and having an experience. So without living and having that experience, for example, you wouldn't be who you are today if you didn't have necessarily 115 cars.
And I think Steven said that. He asked that question, but you were talking. He said,
what's up, Dwayne?
Do you feel that you are still broken? When I said that, I felt like I was broken. Or your adversity built a certain type of character. I would have to say, I don't know if you're still there or not, but I can't say that I would change anything in my life that has brought me to this stage of my life. I'm happy with the man that I am and the life that I have. With that being said, I really can't say, okay, I wasn't sure. I really can't say if I live my life in survival mode. Okay? When you live your life in survival mode, it's hard to ever just slow down and live life. And now I've gotten to a point where I'm not in survival mode anymore. So I am, to this point, loving life. So it's very difficult to say if I more or less cherish what got me here.
Absolutely.
And sadly, I have to say yes. I cherish every moment that has got me here. And maybe the more and more you get to know who Stratton is, maybe I'll share some of that stuff with you.
Yeah.
But you need to write 3 books in the life that I've lived.
And, what's up, Dwayne? Tim, you're right. Hindsight is 20/20. And that's the great part about being able to, but you have to be aware of it, right? Hindsight only works if you're aware of it. And I think that's what, that's where we're going. And I think that's a great point. Hindsight is 2020.
You can't have success without failure.
You can't. But you also.
You believe you can?
I said you can't. You can't have success without failure. And
Josh,
wanting more, as we kind of go full circle, I think wanting more is really an individual thing. It's all kind of ingrained in us as we grow as human beings, and then we evolve into who we become. And we can't have those things without a life experience. And so I'll leave you with this. Live your best life, whatever that is for you, but be aware of what it's doing for you and how it may be affecting the people around you, because it's all important. Your children, your best friends, your cousins, your nephews, your nieces, it's all important. You have to take those moments to say, like, what am I doing? And as long as you can be aware of it, I think you're on the right trajectory. I mean, it's a beautiful thing, but awareness is the key to wanting more and the chase. Just the pure awareness of it all. Stephen says, I've heard a speaker say it's not what you get that makes us happy, it's who you become, or who we become. It is. But we can't do that without growth, right? We can't do that without experience.
That's hard to say. That's hard to say only because I know what I've done. I know what I've had. I know the person I was before the person I am now, and it's night and day. But when you surround yourself with people that honestly are just better people than you are, it's easy to feel that from those individuals, but also to learn how they deal with the same type of situations you deal with. Your situation, the situation that you're dealing with, and the way you deal with that situation isn't always the correct situation to deal.
Right.
The way you deal with it. Okay. Neither is the next person beside you. But look at it this way: if the way I react to a situation doesn't get me in the door, and the way you react to the situation gets you in the door, obviously the way I reacted is wrong. I don't give a shit how you look at it. What you did was correct. Even if I did mine better, I spelled my word better than you spelled it and faster. I read my statement faster than you did. Whatever you did was better than what I did. So sometimes we have to learn that our shit stinks sometimes. And we need to adapt and move on just to be happy. Life is
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Drink the Kool-Aid.
It's all about. But see, you're in that phase of your life, Stratton, that a lot of people don't hit until they reach a particular age. And while you were trying to school them in that, they haven't reached that particular spot.
And you know why?
But hold on, because it's not their time. It's not their time. It. So when we talk about in 1183, and we're here to give you juice, inspiration, dropping some knowledge, some life experience, you have to kind of, as we say, stay in our lane. But it's just not. It's not their time. And while you want to school them on just be happy, a lot of people can't reach that particular place without reaching or chasing or wanting more. You've had more. You've had the chase. Now you are in the chase of the life experiences with your family and your friends. So other people have lived that part already. You're living it now. So for them, it's just a different game at this point.
Right. So it is about time. And normally people that are in their 60s, 65 are trying to preach to children of our age, trying to say what you should be doing with your life. And we're just not listening, right? We don't listen to that type of thing. We don't, You're old, we don't hear you, right? So, because of my life experiences, pray to God I don't die soon or anything morbid like that, but being able to live the way I have 20 years previous to every stage of life has taught me that I need to give back to the people that are, you know, younger than me, because I have been to the mountaintop. I have seen what they are doing up there, and I'm 20 years back, and I'm just trying to tell the people that are behind me, no, look here, change what you're doing, because when you get up there, it's not like that.
Well, I agree. I agree. But it's like,
yeah, go ahead.
Tim says, I try my best to take in as many perspectives as I can, always thrusting for knowledge for whatever angle I can. You can never learn too much, but I also realize I have the ability to provide certain insights of my own for others who are seeking the same, and that's how we all can improve collectively. Absolutely. Here's the challenge of life.
But he's saying the same thing I said.
I know.
If you have those experiences, share those, pass those down, because
yes, you can share, but we can share them. We can share them till we're blue in the face, right? We can share them till we're blue in the face.
Until there's somebody like me that comes along and explains to you, because you know me, I don't hold.
But not everyone's gonna receive that. That's what I'm saying.
The truth, and if they can look at me and tell that Stratton doesn't hold any punches.
It's not about holding punches. It's about being received. It's not about holding punches. It's the delivery of it all. See, life happens, and we're all in different stages of our life. So I may not be able to, I'm just using this as an example. I may not be able to receive you because I'm not at that particular phase in my life. Now, as I navigate to this particular phase in my life where you happen to be at, then now I can be like, oh, yeah.
I get your point, because I still live in the do as I say phase. I still haven't moved past that people are not puppets type of thing. Just because I say fucking whatever it is, go move that railroad tie, doesn't mean that you understand why the fuck I'm telling you to move that railroad tie.
Right.
I get it. You're right. Touche. I get it. Because I have seen with my own eyes does not mean that I can convince you that you saw it too. Touche.
1183. That's the word 11, the number 83. We appreciate the feedback tonight. We're going to hit you with one more tonight. We're going to take a little TV time out. Thanks, Stephen, for stopping through. Congratulations.
Go to YouTube and subscribe, bro. There are all sorts of videos on there. Timothy, thank you for being here. Absolutely. And everybody else that is here, go to the YouTube channel, subscribe, so you can look at and give us some content. Give us some feedback. Let us know what you think that we should talk about.
Good, bad, indifferent. Good, bad, indifferent. We want all the feedback we can get. Again, congratulations to you, Stephen. That's awesome. You know, fight even when you don't want to. Go check out the YouTube videos.
And we are both here. We're both entrepreneurs. So if you have any questions about, if you just want to bounce some ideas off the community, that is what we're here for.
That's it.
You got something going on that you just want to throw out into the community and say, hey, look here, this is blah, 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 blah. We will talk about it. And then you take what you want from the community and you apply it to your life how you feel necessary. But when you have a vast community of people, you can just throw a pebble out into the water
and use.
And we hear your ripple.
Yeah.
Use us. We'll be back.
We appreciate you guys. We'll see you in just a few. Dwayne dropped something there real quick. He said there are plenty of people that have tried to convey a perspective, and I have not received it because the nature of this delivery. So, Stephen, Dwayne, Dwayne, you're right. It's all about the delivery, and I think it's not necessarily the delivery. It's just the timing. It's the phase of your life and where you're at. Because the delivery. Hold on, let me finish.
I'm listening, but hold on. We won't. I got it. Yeah, go ahead.
The delivery of where you are in your life,
Mm-hmm.
I think personally, because I'm one of those people I'm a Taurus, I'm a bull, so I don't hear you until I'm ready to hear you. It's one of those things. When I reach that railroad track, then I hear. It's not that I'm dismissing what I'm being received. It's not, I don't think you're dismissing what you're receiving. It's just that you're not ready to use it yet. And that, I think, is the challenge that we all have, depending on where we are in our particular lives.
Right. Except for this. There is a 20-year age difference between me and the retired age, right? Now, when people, I'm an open book. If you sit down and have a conversation with me, I'll tell you what I did to retire at a young age, okay? But all you know from somebody that's 20 years older than me is they worked all their life, they paid their dues, and now they're retired. At 65, 55, 65. 65 is now their age, and now they're talking about it might go up a little bit. I think it's okay. So that is the difference for me. You can't argue with what you see. People that see somebody, a young man such as myself, I don't do anything. And that's hard to come by. But if you show people that, like Stephen, he is now an entrepreneur. He has now started his own company. Sooner or later, he will be able to walk away from that company, collect a check in the mailbox, and that company will run itself. Now, people don't know you can do that until they see it done.
Yeah.
And you usually don't see younger individuals doing that. You do now, but what are you seeing now? You don't see what I would call hard work. Okay, you see more of the mental hard work of younger people nowadays staying at home and working from home. But they are working from home.
Yeah.
Right? So if you have if you have people that are showing you it can be done, then it'll change everything.
Absolutely.
You don't have to wait anymore. Who the fuck said you got to work till you're 65? Who said that? Like Mayfield's number one question he asks. What is the question? Who said it?
Yeah.
And why are we listening to it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it's in the manual. Who wrote the manual?
The manual. Right.
Who told him to write the manual?
Write your own story. Write your own story.
Yeah.
Stephen, write your story.
We don't have to listen to that.
Write your story. Live your best life. That's the message. Want more. Just be aware.
No, I disagree. We are going to disagree. I do not.
We're going to disagree.
Want more. What?
That's fine. We can disagree. Wanting more, as I've said,
you're gonna have to come back. We're almost done.
Wanting more.
Go to our page and subscribe, but we will be back in about 10-15 minutes. And if you have something on there, Samantha, that you want us to talk about, hit us up and we'll talk about it.
Okay, so Dwayne,
because of
we're going.
What is it? Fear of arrest says that you have to pay taxes. Let's put that out there now. I can't fight any of that other stuff. I still pay my taxes, but fear of arrest and incarceration causes us to have to pay the taxes.
So
we'll be back.
Dwayne hit us back. In a vacuum, he said it boils down to the respect factor. So
who's giving the information?
So we're gonna hang up, we're gonna get back, and let's talk about ego. Let's talk about ego. Let's talk about respect.
Hit that? Ego and pride next?
Because I think that maybe, and it'd be great for discussion, that maybe that might be some of our challenges as a community, period. So we'll be back. 1183 is the channel. The word 11, the number 83. We love y'all. Be good. We'll see y'all in a few. Mayfield is out.
I'm out of there.